Hey guys, this is Sky, and this is What's So Funny. So, this Sunday will be 4 months since I started doing comedy, and boy, has it been a crazy fun journey. Let's just go. So, we're just gonna jump right into it, and the last probably month, because a lot has been going on. And then just what's been going on exactly. And so, So in no particular order of what this is going on, I actually had to write stuff down because there was so much that happened and that I wanted to make sure got on this podcast that I actually had to write down so I wouldn't forget anything. So again, no particular order of how this was written down. But first off, October 19th will be 4 months, so that's awesome. 4 months of doing comedy. I started June 19th, 2025. That is the first time I set foot on stage, so that is awesome. That was my first open mic, and that's what blossomed into what it is now. And so that's my little comic anniversary. Woo! Okay, so then during one of my last open mics, not my last open mics, but one of the open mics, I met Rick Sellers, who is the voice of the General. And for me, that was like a big fangirl moment because I remember being in like the 2000s era and seeing that commercial like so many times and being like, it's one of those jingles that you have stuck in your head for like forever. And like, yeah, I remember that. So to find out that I was in an open mic with the General, when he made the joke, a lot of comics will make jokes and I'm like, no way, he's not the General. And then when I found out later, I'm like, yes, he is. And he's on Cameo. And it's like, what? So I was really excited about that. So that made my whole night. I was very excited. I actually made one of my friends jealous because they were supposed to come that night and they couldn't. So when I said, hey, by the way, the General is there. And she's like, you should have pushed me more to come that night. I'm like, I'm sorry. So that was really funny. And then, October 3rd, 2025, the reason I mark this day down, because to me, in my little heart, it was very significant. I made it into Wardy's Laugh Factory, and honestly, it wasn't necessarily goal, but to be honest, I remember one of the days that I'd started working with Jimmy Ward III, and the group. I remember, asking, like, what does it take to be in Wardy's Laugh Factory? I remember asking. He's like, he gave me the credentials and whatnot. I don't think it was an ultimate goal. But in the back of my head, I'm like, that'd be kind of cool. But, and then one day, Jimmy's like, hey, are you part of Wardy's Laugh Factory? I'm like, no. Well, you are now. And so, that was, like, in my heart. That was, like, the biggest accomplishment in my 3 months at the time career. Like it for me, any accomplishment was going to be bigger and bigger. Anything that was going to happen was going to be big for me. So for me, that was huge. And so I was very proud of myself and I was excited. And so, yeah, I just was like freaking out and I was so proud of myself because it wasn't the ultimate goal, but it became a goal that I was happy about. So, I kind of patted myself on the back, like, yay, you did something. So, yeah. And then, of course, October 10th, I recorded my first ever kind of side project as a comedian with a friend of mine. And the reason I was so proud of it was because we actually sat down together and we said, hey, we want to kind of make parody of this, and it's on YouTube now. It's called The Day in the Life of Dr. D, which is a parody project of Phineas and Ferb, of the character Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And I play Perry the Platypus, which is his nemesis. And fun fact, we're gonna go to GalaxyCon and we're gonna meet Phineas and Ferb, hopefully. It wasn't the original Ferb. It's for season 5 Ferb, but it's the original Phineas. And so I was really excited because it's a project we not only sat down, we wrote a script for. Well, we wrote ideas of what we wanted to see. We had a game plan, and then we went through with it, did all of it. We taped it on my phone, I edited it, and then it became what it is. So we worked very hard. We walked through what we wanted. Obviously, there's bloopers, so you got to see them. And it was a lot of fun. We worked very hard. I think one of my favorite moments, which was obviously very unscripted, was the piece of wood that became the trap. Broke at the last take, and we needed it one more time, because what we would do is we would walk through what we were gonna do, practice, make sure everything would run smoothly, and then we would actually do it. Well, during the part that we walked through it, the piece of wood broke. And we were like, oh no, we need that piece of wood for this next take. And I looked at my friend, Joy, her name, I forgot, she's in the show, so it's like, yeah, Joy. So Joy, and I looked at her and I'm like, hi, we needed that piece of wood for the next take. The final take with this piece of wood, and we needed it. And we were both laughing. We're like, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to bring this wood back to life? So, and this wood, by the way, is like 30-something years old. It had taken the winter's years and whatever, so it's like, we just need to push it over again. So we duct taped it and hoped and prayed that it would just stay long enough that we could do it again and break it. Because all we had to do is push it over again. But luckily it worked. So we just did it again and then purposely broke it, knowing that it was already broken. We didn't mean to actually break it in 3. When she picked it up the first time, it broke in 2. So then she held it again and broke in 3. Crap. So it was really funny. And so that was the piece of wood story, which I had to make in my podcast somewhere, that the piece of wood lived a long life and made into the Life of Dr. D video. So, and then October 12th, the video actually came out on YouTube and became public for the public eye. And so, yeah, it was very exciting. I made sure that I got out there to the public, and I was very excited. I advertised it, said, hey, we got this much time until it comes out, be ready. And then, of course, the editing problem, which was YouTube was being a dick and basically would not let me put it out when I wanted it to, so it took forever, and then it finally came out. And then there was a bunch of editing problems, and it was fun. But it came out finally, so it was fun. The editing, the life of an editor. And it was such a basic editing, but it was like, why do you do this to me, YouTube? And it wasn't even YouTube. It was the format that I was using, and then trying to put it to YouTube it was like the transference of it was being a dick, so it was really funny. And then I did my first comedy special at Bop Stop. So, again, 3 months in. 3 months! And I did my first comedy special. I don't know many comics who get that opportunity. And a buddy of mine, Mike Shanks, I reached out to him and said, hey, do you want this opportunity too? He honestly was like, hey, this might be too good to be true. He ended up going there and was like, yeah, this is so cool. And he was like, this is so cool because it's like, many comics don't get this opportunity, let alone ones that are 3 months in. So that was such a cool opportunity. I kind of did a sneak peek of my set. I don't know how cool this is going to look when it's all put together as a whole, but I showed you my sneak peek of my set. You know, I always put mine on YouTube, but when I see it as a whole, it's going to look really cool. It's my first comedy special on TV, so I'm very excited. I was very excited for it then, and I'm still excited about it now for it to come out. So, there are more events to come. There are plenty of more events to come. There's more projects in the works. I do have a special project coming out. The people who are going to be involved, a few of them know about it. The other people don't yet. I've talked to 4 of them who I want to be involved. I've talked to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've talked to like 3 of them so far. Yeah. 4. Yeah, 4 of them. I've talked to 4 of them so far. I have the list behind my notes. So yeah, 4 of them know so far, and the rest of them don't. So yeah, nothing is set in stone yet when it is, but you will know soon. But this is kind of that sneak peek of, hey, there's another project in the works. Nobody knows about it yet besides the 4 people who know about the plan in motion. But I want a sneak peek of, hey, there's another project already involved with comedy, so yay. And then to backtrack really quick with the whole Dr. D thing, there are more to come. It just takes a while because obviously I go to shows to support people. I do my own shows, like I perform, so lots of stuff, and then I keep on housework, so yeah, very busy. So, and then I also did a Halloween party at Toth's, so that was fun. It was like a costume contest / did my thing. That was really fun. It was like a 7-minute set, 6-minute set, something like that. That was really fun. That was interesting because I worked with Milton before. I think I think that was my second time working with Milton. I think first or second, but I like working with different comedians because it gives me a different experience. Obviously, I've worked with Wardy's Laugh Factory, Jimmy, Nancy, Monty. And those are my people that I work with. So obviously, as a comedian, you have to branch out, and work with different people. So I love working with different people. And I've said this before, I think in person, but I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but my anxiety subsides when I'm working with other comedians, when I'm working on comedy. But when I'm trying to go into a Walmart, I'm anxious as fuck. Not even gonna lie. When I'm trying to shop, I'm anxious as fuck. But when I'm on that stage, my anxiety goes out the fucking window. And it's so backwards. I don't know why, but it's super fucking backwards. So, and then I did Levi's event, which again, very exciting. I was very excited for. I was at a VFW in Willoughby. That was so exciting because I did my first. That might have been a 10-minute set, to my knowledge, if I remember correctly. I think that was my 10-minute set. I think. I'm trying to think back. But one of them was my 10-minute set. But it was funny because I remember that this guy comes out on the stage and he was saying something and says, "Oh man," I'm like, why is Colonel Sanders coming on stage? Like, where the hell is Levi? And then my dumbass, the light bulb kind of flickers on. I'm like, oh, that's fucking Levi. He looked like Colonel Sanders, like straight up. It was so funny. And I'm like, I'm a slow motherfucker. I told Levi that story later, and I had him cracking up, dying. So it was really funny. Another thing that I've been very proud of with my whole journey of comedy and such is that I love that I've been able to help Jimmy with sound and tickets and helping once or twice with the podcast at the Cove, especially. That's been my really big thing. I come out to the Cove every chance I get with stuff. That has been my big thing. I don't have to. I love doing it though. It gives me a really sense of purpose, and I love it. I love being there for him, and I love being able to support the comics, but I love helping Jimmy. I respect him so fucking much, and I really do think of him as a mentor, and I think I've said it before to him, but I don't feel like I say it enough to him that I respect him so much. I respect his son, because obviously they're a duo at Wardy's Laugh Factory. So I try every time I'm on stage, like I want to do my own thing, but I'm also remembering that I am representing Wardy's Laugh Factory. So that's kind of like that martial arts mentality where who are you representing? Like when you wore the Asian Sun uniform, you're kind of remembering you're representing Wardy's Laugh Factory. So that's kind of that mentality. But and then September 21st, I hosted at the Cove. It was my very first time hosting, and I was very proud of myself for that as well. And I had so much fun with that. That was such a great time. And I had so much fun with that. And honestly, It was the coolest experience in the world. Would I host again? Absolutely. I would want to do it again. I know some people are like, I don't want to host. It's too much pressure. Here's the thing, though. I like doing that kind of stuff. I'm very, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but, like, I like doing that kind of stuff. I like being a comic, but I like hosting, too. I like the energy. I like getting people involved kind of thing. So I would totally do it again. I totally would. And honestly, it was so much fun. It was such a good feeling trying to get the audience pumped up and stuff. And so, yeah, I would totally do it again. It was such a great time. And so, yeah, so I ran over everything I wanted to run over, which I'm really happy about. I did everything I wanted to run over. Yay. So the next few things coming up for me, which I forgot to write down, which is hilarious, but I am going to be at the Cove tonight. I'm just working sound to my knowledge. I don't think I'm going to be on stage, but, you know, that could honestly change because sometimes he throws on me like 5 minutes, so he does that sometimes, so I never know. Now, I am smart, and I keep my shirt in the back of my car, so I'm not rushing like a fucking maniac trying to get my shirt. So I just keep my 2 shirts in my back of my car. By the way, yeah, I have my own merch now. 1 shirt. It's just to show off that I have a merch. It's not for sale right now. I'm not really at that stage yet. I just want to show off that I made my first merch. I did the photography for it. I was very proud of that. So yeah. And then I was at Parrish's thing as well. I forgot to write that down. I'm so glad I remembered. And that was at the Afterlife Lounge and that nightclub lounge. Same thing, right? And that was really fun. That was so much fun. That was such a cool place. That reminded me of the Dark Room in Broadway Heights. That was my favorite bar. And that had kind of the same feel, but it was lit up more. The Dark Room's kind of, you know, dark, hence the Dark Room name. But it was like gothic bar, and the Dark Room has this really cool drink called Fuck the People. And, oh my god, it puts you on your ass. But it had the same vibe, though. And it had a casket in the front of the stage. Ooh, it was such a cool place. And it was really funny because one of the comics was going up, and literally they had this animatronic in the back, which really wasn't scary, but I don't like animatronics. But it was a prehistoric dinosaur thingy and an egg, and it kept going off every time the comic would go because he was in the back, or the stage was in the front, and the thing kept going off. I don't know why. So one of the guys was bringing it in the back so it stopped going off, and I watched. And he dropped it, and the head of the animatronic fell off. And I'm like, nobody else noticed, but this is the joys of having ADHD, is you can listen to the comic, and you can watch a head of an animatronic go off. And I'm like, it was really funny. I was trying to laugh at both, and it was like, yeah, it was really funny. But that was a really fun place. I wish more people had come, but at the same time, I hope that more people will come to this event. The food, by the way, gotta talk about the food there, was fucking fantastic. I had this Korean barbecue sandwich that was holy shit, off the wall, stellar. Gotta say the food was fantastic because holy shit, it was amazing. It made my heart sing. Just saying it made my heart sing. It was so good. I would eat 7 more, quite literally. I would eat 7 more of those sandwiches. It was so good. And then I went last night to Paynesville for Nancy and Monty's show. Love Rich Green as the headliner. And then Tyrone, Fresh Prince of Welfare, Tree, Monty, of course, Nancy. So yeah, it was a good show. It's always fun going out to support comics. It really is. Love supporting comics. If I can't do anything else when I'm not busy being on stage, supporting is the best thing I can do. It's the best thing I can do. By the way, Monty's girlfriend Laura is making Ghost, the glow-in-the-dark Ghost, If you can do anything else, support her. She makes them herself. She crochets them. They glow in the dark. They're $10. Reach out to Monty if you want one. They're so cute. So, I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye!